Final Star Wars movie. Talk about the end of the trilogy. Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. Alright, so Return of the Jedi is the sequel to Empire Strikes Back. The movie came out 1983. I wasn't around during that time, so yeah. Like, apparently the film and project name was called Blue Harvest. People believed it was going to be called Revenge of the Jedi, which what Episode 3 was later called Revenge of the Sith. This movie takes place about, I'm going to say, a few months after the events of Empire Strikes Back. The movie starts out, we're on Tatooine again, and they're getting ready for their heist. It was cool with the first 20-30 minutes of Episode 6. They have to rescue Han from Jabba the Hutt. So they get their team together, they're all placed for this heist to rescue Han. I really like that aspect of the movie. Also, we have the first introduction of Jabba the Hutt. Even though Jabba the Hutt shows up in Episode 4, that was later released in the later movies. It's the first Jabba the Hutt appearance, and I would love to see more Jabba the Hutt in the future spin-off Star Wars movies. Cool, because you can make like a gangster movie with Jabba the Hutt and the Hutt gang. Covered a couple gangster episodes in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Jabba the Hutt's so awesome. Just laugh. Ho 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 ho. I always have a slave girl dancing to him. He's a freaking gangster. Also, we bring in Luke. Luke is a completely different character than he was from Episode 5. Episodes 4 and 5, he was wearing all white. Now something's happened in his life. He found out who he really is. So he dons his whole all black outfit. Also has a green lightsaber. It's the first green lightsaber we ever saw in Star Wars. Also the movie that introduced the Emperor, even though the Emperor did show up in Episode 5, and that's a great scene. The first introduction of the guy who actually played the Emperor, and he does an awesome job. He's so quotable. God! Give in to your anger. As y'all remember from my prequel videos, I am a big fan of the Emperor. I think he's one of the best parts of the prequel Star Wars movies. Whenever you see Episode 5, you're like, man, Vader's a true badass. And then you see the Emperor, you're like, wait a minute. The Emperor is his master. That's right, Darth Vader is the Emperor's bitch. He's the true villain of Star Wars, and that makes Star Wars so awesome. You have one villain who's badass, but he's just being abused by another villain? That's freaking cool. Also, this movie gave us Princess Leia's slave outfit. Thank you. Now, I have a problem in Star Wars Episode 6, and that's the Ewoks. I'm not a fan of the Ewoks. Originally, George Lucas was going to have Wookiees on there. But no, let's just put in these stupid teddy bears. So that could be a mighty empire that's held the galaxy by fear for the past 30 years. Really shouldn't have been surprised when we saw Jar Jar in Episode 1. This is the beginning of the madness. All the stupid stuff we saw in the prequels can be dated back to Episode 6. I hear people trying to defend the Ewoks. There are a couple things you can defend the Ewoks with. I mean, whenever they capture Luke, R2-D2, Han, and them, they're getting ready to fix them up for barbecue. At the end of the movie, playing drums with the Stormtroopers' helmets. They eat the Stormtroopers. Just don't buy men wearing space armor against a primitive species can beat a mighty empire. If it was Wookiees, that would have been awesome. What the Wookiees did in Episode 3, they didn't even need the clones on their backs. A lot of the Star Wars movies had a lot of re-editions whenever the DVD and Blu-rays came out. Return of the Jedi is the one that suffers the most. The Jedi Rock song in Jabba's Palace, that little song you hear, it's a little goofy. And another one is when, at the end of the movie, when you see the Force Ghost, you see Obi-Wan Yoda. Back to Yoda days, you saw the guy who played Anakin Skywalker. Now, they changed it with Hayden Christensen. Ah, damn it, George. The biggest sin of them all was no. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then thank goodness. It's the scene whenever Luke's getting shot with lightning. He's yelling out, "Father, please!" He's dying. And you look at Vader. He's wearing a mask. And he looks troubled. You can read his facial expressions like a book. It's like... And then he picks up the Emperor and throws him down the pit and he dies. No! They changed that. Now he has to go, "No." You're like, "No." He's like, "No." You're like, "No!" Also, they digital remastered Sebastian Shaw's, I think that's his name, his face. They make it look more like Hayden Christensen. the end, Star Wars Return of the Jedi is an awesome end to a Star Wars trilogy. The negatives, the positives totally outweigh the negatives. This is still probably one of the best trilogies of all time. Is it as good as Empire? No, but you're not going to find a movie that's better than Empire. What I read once was Steven Spielberg was going to direct Star Wars Episode 6 since he and Lucas worked on Indiana Jones together. It would have been interesting to see how he would have done it. I'm curious what they're going to do with Episode 7 because the movie kind of ended the movie, so I'm curious what's going to happen. I never really expected to see another Star Wars movie after the failure of the prequels. The universe is so awesome, why not make another Star Wars movie, right? I'm curious what they're going to do because there's been all kinds of Star Wars movies, like you had the Thrawn trilogy, and now everything's wiped clean. Disney now has Star Wars, so I'm curious what's going to happen 30 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. Is the Empire still around? What's going to happen? Do you see a return to the Sith Army like we see in the KOTOR games? I'm looking forward to Episode 7, but Episode 6 is a great movie. Acting's so great. It's still one of the best trilogies of all time. I want to give Star Wars The Return of the Jedi a 4.6 out of 5. This is a great Star Wars movie. I love Star Wars movies, but I feel it's the weakest of the trilogy. Have you seen Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi? And tell me below, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? Whatever it is, comment below, let me know. And if you like this video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe, see more. And go to my Facebook page, www.facebook.com/darfeasy to stay updated to what's going on in the world of Easy Nation. All too easy.